And I haven't been down to my favorite spot along the Blackberry Creek in a while, and today I find an egret off in the distance. And the water is running aplenty, as you can probably hear. Seems like a nice backdrop to shoot the video about the summary of my most recent Ice Age Trail segment hike. Hey there, how y'all doing today? This is Beta coming to you from after my last Ice Age Trail segment hike was completed. About a week has passed since I've come home, and by now maybe watched some of the other videos from that hike. So I thought I'd have a little summary and talk a little bit about how that hike went. I had a pretty good time up on the Ice Age Trail this time around. I hiked I was there for 7 days. I hiked for 6 of those days. I took one day off in the middle because a rainstorm came through, but other than that, I averaged about 18 miles a day, which for me is a lot. And I felt pretty good doing that. So I ended up being able to hike 115 miles of what was going to be about 123. I came off the last day a little bit early and didn't hike what would have been the last final 8 miles because it was going to rain again that last day. And I was 1 day behind schedule because I took the day off. So I wanted to stick to my original time frame. And the distance 115 miles was enough for me. It put me up over 310 miles, I think about 312 total on the trail. And that's a little over 25% of the Ice Age Trail that's been hiking. So I've hiked over 25% of the Ice Age Trail, and I've hiked over 35% of the Appalachian Trail. So I'm having a pretty good time at this section, hiking these two trails back to back and making pretty good progress and getting a good workout. So I'm really kind of enjoying that. I really liked on the Ice Age Trail that I was alone a lot. I had company during the day with day hikers and some other section hikers, but mostly when I was hiking I was on my own. So I got to be in the wilderness a little bit, in the quiet and with Mother Nature, and that was grand. I really enjoyed that. So I hiked from the Kettle Moraine South Unit's headquarters to a place, a state highway. It's up in a place called Nicholson House or something like that, a restaurant, right around Greenville. So basically, most of the Kettle Moraine State Forests that are on the eastern end of the Ice Age Trail, I hiked through. So I had a couple of road walks, but not many. Mostly I was in some really nice state forests, and that was really nice. It was actually trail hiking and only a little bit of road walk, so that was pretty cool. I stayed in a campground a couple of nights, a couple different campgrounds. Pine Woods State Park had a campground I stayed in, and M.Y.T.H State Park had a campground that I stayed in. Both of those places were really nice. Pine Woods had a little bit more privacy and a little bit bigger space and greenery between the campsites than did M.Y.T.H. But M.Y.T.H Lake was really nice also, and right off trail. So I also spent 1 night in 2 nights in hotels, actually, one in Delafield and one in West Bend. And then I stealth camped 1 night up on the edge of a interlobal lobate moraine. So it was an interesting variety of camping experiences. So that was kind of fun. I like getting to pitch my Durst in out in the wilderness by myself. I enjoyed that a lot. And, had deer come and visit me the night I was stealth camping all night because I was camping near one of their nighttime foraging grounds, so that was kind of interesting. Saw a lot of deer, saw a fawn at one point, which was very cool. I saw a coyote coming across one of the fields, one of the prairies that I was walking through. I saw a lot of wildflowers. It's early June when I made this hike, so the wildflowers were in bloom everywhere. In terms of length of my hikes, my shortest day was my first day was about 12 miles or so. Other than that, I hiked a couple of 20-mile days and even a marathon 26-mile day. And it felt good, pretty good through all of that. The marathon pretty much wore me out, but the 20-mile days I handled pretty well, I thought. So I'm feeling pretty confident about that. And my summertime kit's a lot lighter, so my base weight going out this time was probably only 15 or 16 pounds. So most of the time I was able to hike carrying only probably 20 pounds or so, maybe 25 with a full load at the beginning. And that always makes hiking a lot easier. When I get my pack weight down under 25 pounds, that's a lot easier for me. I started off the hike by driving all the way up to the Labud section up near Elkhart Lake, and then having to get a shuttle ride down to the South Kettle Moraines headquarters, which was, I don't know, 100 miles plus of driving, and had two trail angels who helped me out, who wouldn't take a dime from me for the whole ride. So it was very sweet of them. Very nice ladies. We had really good conversations about hiking. They've both, I think one of them had hiked the whole trail. She's 1,000-milers, and the other one has hiked a lot of it. They might have both been 1,000-milers, actually. But I did want to say thank you and give them a shout out. They wouldn't accept a dime from me, even in this day and age, for gas money, which was amazing, I thought. I did go ahead and make a donation through one of them to the Ice Age Trail, because their time was worth something. So the Ice Age Trail can use this to throw a party for the Trail Angels or something. But I met a lot of really friendly people. The last person I met on trail actually was a trail angel without being a part of the network even. So I was about burnt out on the last day, and I didn't really want to have to hike that last 8 miles the following day in the rain. And I was just kind of stuck for what to do next, because the place I had planned to camp was closed. And there was a lady at the parking area near the trailhead talking to another lady, and saw me and sensed my frustration, or they might be having a problem. So she asked me if there was anything she could do to help. And I said, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but if you knew anybody who could give me a ride down to my truck, which is parked about 20 miles away or so on the roads up at by Elkhart Lake, that'd be great. But if you don't, I'll just figure something else out. I'm not in physical stress or anything. And she said, I can give you a ride. I mean, just like that. She didn't hesitate. I piled into her car, and she gave me some Girl Scout cookies to munch as we talked on the way up to my car. Another ride. And again, this lady isn't the part of the official Ice Age Trail Angel Network. She's just a really nice Wisconsin resident who liked helping some hiker out. So she's from that area. She's hiked a lot of those trails herself, so I think she could kind of relate to what I was doing. And that, maybe she took pity on some 65-year-old guy who was completely beat. But whatever it is, I was very grateful to her, and that was a great way to end the trip with a little bit of Wisconsinian hospitality and a little Midwestern niceness. So I really enjoyed that the trail started off with some kindness from some trail angels, and it ended with some kindness from a trail angel. And I really enjoy that part of hiking the Ice Age Trail in particular. The community on the Ice Age Trail is very informal and very friendly and very neighborly. I like that. You find that a lot I have found that a lot on all the trails that I hike, but it's always refreshing in this day and age, given everything else that's going on, that when I go out and hike, I tend to find people who are a little more down to earth, just a little nicer, a little more relaxed. So that really kind of, maybe that's part of why I keep hiking, even though I'm a couple of years into this now and still only a third or a quarter of the way done with these two great trails. It's still I think it might be the people I meet along the way is what keeps bringing me back out on the trail, at least partly. I do have 2 trips planned. In a week or so, I'm going to go with Mrs. Data and some family up to Kodiak, Alaska, where I have a family member who lives up there, and we're going to go up and visit them for a little while. And then probably a month or so after that, I think I'm going to go back and hike another section of the Appalachian Trail, but I'm still working on that plan. So I'll have some announcements about the Appalachian Trail hike coming up, and I'll probably also have some information about my Kodiak trip. I'll be with family the whole time, so I don't know how much filming I'm going to do and how many videos I'm going to put out, but I'll probably put out 1 or 2 because we're going to do some interesting adventures while we're up in Kodiak. So y'all can stay tuned for some of that.